this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to have a bit of a play today. I have got this gorgeous bunch of napkins that Pat had so very kindly gifted me, and I had shown you guys these beautiful napkins before when I just went through this beautiful Happy Mail. But I had already pulled out some that I couldn't wait to work with. So I thought, let's come along and have a play with these, or some of these beautiful napkins. So I'm just going to pop those to one side. I've tried to be a little bit organised. I wonder how long that's going to last. So I've got my acetate here that I'm going to be using to actually do some decoupage in. And I've pulled out the napkins that I want to use. I've got sellotape beside me to be able to separate the napkins, which I never ever remember to use that technique. So hopefully I'm actually on the right track today. I've got my Mod Podge here that I'm going to use to do the decoupage in, and it's been watered down. So hopefully I've got everything that I need. Now, I thought what I would do is decoupage onto tracing paper. I did this, I think I've done it a couple of times actually. I think I maybe did it when making some envelopes. I possibly even did it in the alphabet challenge. I quite like the texture that it produces. It's just something a little bit different to use in our journals. So I have cut a few of the napkins down so that they're smaller sections rather than an entire napkin. I have my sellotape here to the side. So I always forget this technique, and heaven only knows why, because everybody else seems to manage to remember it, but I, before I know it, I'm decoupaging and I haven't then used it. So, oops, clearly I'm not really able to use it. Oh, I thought this was all going a bit too good. Right, hold on. Well, I've never seen anyone do this and still not be able to actually separate the napkin. But hey, there's always going to be one, isn't there? There we go. Right. I'll need to check how to do that, because clearly I'm doing something wrong, I assume. Right, I'm going to keep my bits that I pull off because I'll just use them for mopping things up in the future. So I'm just going to kind of keep a collection of those down to the side. So here, as you can see, and you probably can't really see, to be honest, because I've got kind of transparent on top of transparent, but I've laid my napkin onto my acetate. Now, I have done this technique before. This was not my idea. I got this idea from Sagita on Sagita's Coffee Stains. She did this a really long time ago. It's super clever and just avoids you kind of coming into contact with the napkin. I am very prone to tearing the napkin, so for me, as little as contact as possible is always a good thing. And then what you do is take your Mod Podge, which again, I've watered mine down. Again, I don't, obviously, me being me, I don't measure or anything else. I just kind of judge it by eye. So it just is thinning it down slightly. And then all you're going to do is go from the middle of your napkin outwards onto, whilst your napkin's on the acetate. You're doing this obviously on the reverse side of the napkin, like so. And you just want to paste that all over the entire thing, like that. And a bit more here. I still don't want to mess my mat up. I don't know when I will get past that hang up, but yeah. Right, so I'm trying to avoid messing my mat up, and I'm still trying to get used to my new camera setup, so please forgive me and just bear with me. Right, so that's my napkin there, and then all I'm going to do is take my sheet of acetate and just place it onto my tracing paper like that. And at this point, no contact with the napkin whatsoever. So, I mean, for someone like me who's quite clumsy and, going to be pretty heavy-handed with the napkin and then lead to tearing it, this is just perfect, because I'm not coming into contact with that napkin at all, which is obviously pretty delicate at this stage. So that's it. Squash your napkin down, pressing your glue out like that. Okay, and then just very carefully you can just peel your acetate up, and that's it. It's now on your tracing paper. So I'm going to leave that now to dry and do a few more. So I will show you one more, you know, just so that anyone who's not seen this technique before, you know, gets a sort of recap. But of course, I'm not going to sit here and do all of them, because that would be so boring, I'm sure, for you all to watch. So what I'll do one more just to kind of go over it, and then I will turn the camera off, do a few, and then come back, you know, once they're on the tracing paper and dry, hopefully dry. So again, I mean, this obviously is a bigger piece, but it's fine. And you're just pasting that out all over the acetate like that. Okie dokie. I've seen a few people doing some really awesome image transfer techniques lately, so I want to have a go at some of those things. So maybe we'll have a bit of a play, you know, with some other techniques over the next few weeks. There we go. But I was keen to have a play with these gorgeous napkins, so thank you so much, Pat. Very, very appreciative of those. I love these blue, especially. They are just stunning. I think I had taken these out of the pile when I showed the napkins, because yeah, I just absolutely loved them. So again, I'm just going to get my tracing paper, and then, oops, what I should have done was wiped my board down. There we go. And then take my napkin like that, and then just again press it down. I'm just using my baby wipe here, but I mean, there's no need to, because this is all dry, you know. So again, for someone who's quite like me and inclined to get things literally all over their hands the second that the top is taken off of paint or glue or anything else, this is quite a handy technique, because it kind of cuts down on, you know, how messy you're going to get. I mean, I don't mind getting messy, but obviously then you've got the problem of it transferring onto everything else that you touch. So this is quite a good technique for that. Right, I'm going to just take that off. Now here, it's obviously not pressed quite down. If that happens, just press it again. If it's still not coming up, just go to a different corner where it is and peel it up from there instead. You know, it may be that I didn't quite Mod Podge that portion of the napkin, and that's fine, because I can just go over that now like that. Okay, so again, I'm just going to leave that to dry. So I'm going to do a whole bunch of them, and then I will come back when they are dry, and we will then have a play with a few and do, you know, make some nice little bits with them. Right guys, I'm back. The napkins ended up dragging on over into the next day. So I'm here now with our dried napkins on the tracing paper. So as you can see, I've done quite a few here, so I won't obviously bore you by doing the same thing, you know, over and over with you guys, but I just thought we'd, you know, have a play with one or two, and yeah, have a bit of a play and see what we can come up with, really. So they're lovely and crunchy now, and I'm just going to trim this one down. We'll just start with this one. Like that. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're, you know, doing some crafting. Oops, I've not made a very good job of sticking that napkin down, did I? Let's just chop that bit off. The funny thing was, I'd left the napkins out drying, and then when they were dry yesterday, but it was then too late to do a video, they were obviously quite wrinkly, so I thought, oh, where can I put them to squash them down and flatten them? So do you know what I did? I put them underneath this glass mat on my desk. And then when I came to now do the video now today, I couldn't find them. And I was thinking, well, where did I put them, you know? And I kept thinking I would have put them somewhere that I thought was safe. You know, fatal mistake, obviously. Never put anything where it's going to be safe, because of course that just translates to never find it again. So yeah, they were underneath my cutting mat. So am I the only person who does stuff like that? It took me like literally about 6 minutes of rummaging around. And you know when it's going through your head thinking, well, I can remember placing them somewhere, thinking, going to keep these safe. Now, where would I put that? And I picked up a few things that are sort of heavy-ish that were laying around on the floor, you know, like my craft bag and, you know, other piles, and thought, well, they're not under any of those. Where else could I have put them? And then I suddenly thought, oh, I've got a funny feeling that I maybe put them underneath my cutting mat as a safe area. And it, of course, was super safe. So much so, I couldn't even remember them being there. Okay, right. So I've made just a little sort of flippy piece here. We could now do just a little closure, you know, like the policy envelope style closures. Let's do 2 of those. Okay. So let me just get my brush that I have been using with the vintage photo, because I've had a few projects on the go, so I've got a couple of brushes that I have used with other colours, so I don't want to cross-contaminate. I don't know how to colour code them really, but I did see somebody do a video where you could buy brushes that are, you know, colour coded as to what you've used them for. I did have a look on Amazon. I couldn't find any, so I don't know whether they're not something that's available here yet. She did say they were quite expensive, so to be honest, it may be that, you know, it wouldn't have really been worth the extra expense just to have them all colour coded anyway. But, you know, because to be honest, how many other colours really do we realistically use? Probably not that many. So that's really cute, isn't it? Right, now on the never-ending hunt for brads. Now I bought some brads the other day. Let me just see where I put them. I bought 2 packets to keep me going for some time. And I opened one of the packets and poured them into a bag, which of course now can I find the bag? No. No. Right, hang on a moment. Right, I have some brads now, so we're armed and dangerous. Well, hopefully not dangerous, but we are now armed with brads. So I've got those, and I'm going to obviously place them here. Now, just before I do that, I'm going to ink up my entire tracing paper piece. Let me try and keep my desk a little bit clear. And just ink that up like that. Okay. These are such pretty napkins, aren't they? I just absolutely love them. So yeah, thank you so much, Pat. Pat had kindly gifted these to me and sent them in Happy Mail, so I so appreciate them. They're just gorgeous. We don't really get many napkins in the shops, or I certainly haven't seen them. I may have lots of people correct me now, but I certainly haven't really seen many in the shops. So whenever I've bought napkins, I've tended to buy them, you know, from eBay or whatever. Sorry about that. A call came in, so I'm not used to filming on my phone still. So obviously if a call comes in, it flicked the camera off. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. Right. So I've got some little bits and bobs here that I just dug out whilst my camera flicked off. So I'm wondering whether I should just have a couple of bits here. They're quite nice, aren't they? So I'm just going to take my wet glue. Oops. I didn't think it was coming out for a minute, but it is, so. And we just pop that down. Just have that just there in the corner, I think. And then we'll just pop this on. So again, I mean, these were just floating around in my little, you know, goodie bag. Oh, well, I have multiple goodie bags, to be fair now. I used to be really good and just have like 2 of those, you know, punched pocket folder things with like stamped items, and, you know, all of my stuff was really tidy, and, you know, I was really good at just keeping it all in there. And then I don't know really what's happened, but those couple of bags have exploded into like, you know, 50. No, I mean 50 is an exaggeration, but a lot anyway. So yeah, I now have like multiple. Now, would you have that down there, do you think? I mean, to be honest, it probably is completely personal choice, isn't it, of where you would have that. Is there a right and a wrong? I don't know. Never really noticed anyone else have this dilemma, but the other thing, I would like some lace somewhere, so just pull in some lace. We'll just see where we're going to have that, because are we going to have that underneath here? I think it might have to be like that. Unless we have that down. Oh, it's such a tough decision sometimes, isn't it? Right, let's just go for this, because otherwise I'm just going to be here all day. Still haven't got any more of the Fabri-Tac, so well, you know, the 3-in-1. So I'm just using my hot glue. Oops. I mean, I do love my hot glue gun, to be fair, so I just had got out of the habit of using it. I think I talked about this before, but partially because I'd bought some different brands of the glue, I didn't find it was sticking as well. But I'm now just being really disciplined and just using the Bosch glue. And I mean, touch wood, that is much better. So, right, I'm just going to pop this in here like that. Now, you know what else I bought the other day, which again, I'm not going to be able to find that. Oh, I might be able to actually. I bought some black baker's twine. I've had black baker's twine before. In fact, I've probably still got some, if I'm really honest. If I actually looked around, it's probably actually just laying about somewhere buried on my desk, but let me just check. Oh, look, it is. It's right here. Right here. Not even that far buried, but I thought maybe the black would look really awesome with this piece. It's quite striking, isn't it, the black? So I'm still deciding, do we have this down here or do we have it here? I know that's just pathetic thing to be wondering about, but it does make a difference, doesn't it? Right, I'm trying not to put my head into the camera too much, so it might not be that it's very well aligned with the other one, because I didn't want to actually have my whole head in the camera, so I therefore wasn't really able to see whether it's next to it or not. So I'm going to have it like that. Now, the other thing that I was reaching for, I think when the phone went actually, was I've just got this coffee dyed paper, so I'm just going to fold that like that, and again like that, and then all I'm going to do, I'll just trim that down here on the edge. Like that. And then, now I was going to make a flippy pad, but let me just chop that down there. I'm actually wondering whether actually I could have it stuck in here as a little pull-out piece, which might be you know, a bit different and something sort of nice and fun. So I'm just going to trim that down slightly further at the edge. Just there. Trim it down slightly at this edge. Like that. Just trim this little bit here. Okay. I'll just check that's going to fit nicely in there before I glue it down. Right, okay, so I'm liking how that looks. So what I'm going to do is just round my corners. So just round that one. I don't know why that one didn't want to round, but sometimes that's just how it is, isn't it? I've had this corner rounder for a really long time. It was really cheap and cheerful from eBay. I think it maybe was even from China. I don't know, but it was very, very cheap. And, you know, I was a bit skeptical as to whether it would last very long. But, I mean, actually, it's really lasted a long time. So, I mean, now I've said that, of course, it's going to break, isn't it, in the next few days. But yeah, even if it did, I've had my money's worth, to be honest. More than had my money's worth. So I'm just gluing this down here onto the back, like that. Oops. Okay. Okay, now, oh, what have I done with my, oh, there it is. I was going to say my spreader, since my new desk setup. Where's my tools? There we go. So I like that. Now, what we could do here is just pop something on this side as well, to be honest. Just wonder whether I've got a small scrap laying around on my desk. I mean, I have got small scraps, but as usual, when you're looking for things, you've never got quite the thing that you're actually looking for, do you? Can I see anything suitable? No, of course I can't. Of course I can't. Everything but. Oh well, perhaps I won't bother with that then. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm just going to tie this round here. Oops, this one. Fiddly, this is very fiddly. Fiddly for me, maybe not fiddly for other people, but oh, I'm such a I don't know, can't deal with fiddly things like this. Right, let's just tie that in, and then tie it the other way so it's a permanent knot there. Oh, can I get hold of that? Oh. Yay! Okay, so that's that, and then just thread that round. Whoops. Like that. Okay. Oh, I love that. I really love that. That black just looks so striking on there, doesn't it? Really, really, really pretty. And now just, you know, shall we have a little bit of black bling? Let's just have a look and see. Let's just cut one down. I don't know whether it would look good or not. But I mean, to be honest, it probably doesn't really need it, but hey, let's add some anyway, because of course, you know, what's life without bling? Just boring, isn't it? There we go. There we go. Pop that on there, like that. Yay! Probably should have actually put that more in that hole, but never mind. So that's a little booklet with our napkin pieces. Isn't that so pretty? Oh, I just love it. So that's one little idea for your tracing paper booklets. Just going to pop that off to the side a little bit. So So the next one I've got is this gorgeous one. I mean, again, these napkins are just so pretty, Pat. I just absolutely love them. So we'll just, again, cut this down. Like that. I'm being very rigid and I'm binning the pieces that are cut off, even those, you know, from the top, which were larger. I'm not saying they were large, but they were larger. So, you know, there is a kind of shall I, shan't I mentality going on. Obviously, shall I keep it or shan't I? So that's that one. And I think what we'll do is, for this one, we'll just make a little foldy booklet like that. Just, well, it doesn't look that unstraight actually. I thought that was going to be really terrible, but it's not too bad. And again, we'll just round the corners there so it just looks a little bit more, you know, more professional. Well, I mean, it would do obviously if my corner rounder wasn't all sort of blunt, but oh well. Just do this one. Okay, and then pop those corners into the bin. Now, I pulled out this bird. This is just from my little bird envelopes and note cards, but I just thought colour-wise that it toned quite nicely with these napkins. I'm not saying it's a match, but I quite like the way that looks on there. So I think I'm going to go for that. So I'm just going to ink up around the napkin in the first place. Like that. I just love the feel of these napkins on this tracing paper. I love the fact that they're all crunchy and, you know, what's the word? Audible. I love the fact that they're audible pieces, you know, that we can hear crunching around. That's just so fun, isn't it? And yeah, I love the way they crunch like that. Isn't that just so lovely? So we'll just ink this up a bit on the inside as well. Like that. Okay. Oops. And then I'm going to pop this on here. So I just want to ink this bird up a little bit. Again, I mean, this was just floating around in one of those bags of, you know, bits and bobs ready to use. So I didn't tear this out or anything. It was just in that bag, and I thought, oh, maybe that would go quite nicely on that napkin. So, and I think it does. Yeah, I like how that looks. So I'll just see whether I've got either a label or something that I can pop on there. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? And oddly, actually, I was just wondering whether I should just make this some sort of pocket if I stitched around the edge. I don't know whether this would be... I feel like it would be too flimsy to have it as a pocket, certainly for, you know, for me, because I would be likely to tear that. But I think that, you know, that would be a nice idea if you weren't likely to tear it. I mean, unfortunately, I think I definitely would. But yeah, if you weren't likely to tear it, then I think that would look really, really cool and be like really a nice thing to do. Right, let's just have a look. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to glue this down. Again, excuse the back. All of my things constantly, where I'm obviously always trying out printables, invariably most things that I end up, you know, finally printing are printed against the backdrop of obviously something that I have been trialing printing. you know, or else maybe the ink's run out or something. So it might be that I have printed something that is right, and then my printer's ink has run out, so I've got some sort of weird colour going on. So then I've just obviously reprinted on the other side. I don't know why, but sometimes the printer tells you, you know, I'm running low on ink. Sometimes it doesn't seem to tell you, and it just carries on printing, which is then pretty annoying because, you know, sometimes that then makes it an unusable thing that it prints out. Okay. Right, love that. Going to pop that on there. So again, let's just pop that down. Okay. Let's pop that there. Again, I mean, that's just something, you know, that I've grabbed from on my desk from my book plates printables, but I just thought that looks quite nice on there, doesn't it? And then what I'm going to do, I think, is on the inside, I wonder if that's the right size. Oh no. Well, not too bad actually. Oh, well, perhaps I will use that because it's always good to use what we've got. So I'm just going to trim this down. Like that. Trim it on this very far edge like that. Okay, so that's my little pages there that I'm going to just stick in. So we'll just pop those down. Oh, come on, glue. Thought this was all going a bit well. My glue's not seemed to be playing up for a little while. And now it's suddenly decided to. I had been on quite a good run for a while with no glue issues. But, you know, like all these things, it doesn't last forever. Right, there we go. Let's just pop that lid back on for a minute. And just spread that out a little bit there. Okay, and then probably best have that side because it's very dark. You know, this side is very dark, so I should really keep it matching, shouldn't I? Okay. Okay, blue seems a little bit happier now. Let's just use all my brute force to get out a bit of extra glue. Oh gosh. Okay. Right. And we'll just pop that one on there like that. Okay. Let's just wipe that excess glue. Okay, right. So that's that little booklet there. We're just going to pop a little bit of lace on here, and I'm going to have it, I think, going round. So I'll just use my hot glue like that. And just trim that off here like that. I mean, those napkins, wow, they're so pretty, aren't they? Really just gorgeous, I must say. Love them. I love the blue ones, and actually the blue ones were the ones that I was going to be using when I first started out this video yesterday, doing the decoupage of the tracing paper. And then for some reason, you know, once I got decoupaging, actually these ones kind of drew me in. So I mean, I love them all, to be honest, but yeah, these were the ones that I then was really drawn to at this point. So just got one of my little numbers. Just wondering whether we could have that somewhere, or we could have it maybe inside. Let's just have a little number 7 there, shall we? Just so there's something more going on the inside, really. So it's not really boring, you know, when you just get onto the inside. So there we go. And then I'm just going to have a look through my Curator's Collection butterflies here and just see if I've got a butterfly that I could just fussy cut out. This red one. I mean, we could have the blue one, to be fair, like as a complete contrast, but that might be a bit much. Might just be a little bit too drastic, I'm not sure. But I'm thinking we'll just fussy cut this little butterfly out. Like that. Okay. Because it's just quite a good colour with the napkin. I hope it doesn't just get lost completely in amongst that red of the napkin, but if I stick it more near the bird rather than the napkin, then it might be okay, mightn't it? So let's have a look. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? Yeah, let's just have it like that. So I'm just going to obviously wet glue that on. Like that. Okay. So that's that one. I have to say, I'm slightly drawn to this black twine again. I don't know why, but I'm kind of thinking, oh, I want to have some of that going on somewhere around there. I don't know why, but yeah, for some reason it was just pulling me in. So let me just see whether we could just do like a little bow or anything in the black twine. You know, it was kind of just catching my eye sat at the corner of my, you know, table. And I think I just found it so striking on the other piece that I thought it would be really nice to have something here in the black twine as well. So I do love a bit of black, I must say. I think black just adds something so striking to so many projects. Let's just have a look. Pop that there. I don't know whether it's just a bit hidden up there and you can't really see it, but I do like it. So I'm just going to pop that down. Just going to use the hot glue for that. So we're just tiny bit, dab it onto there. Okay. Ooh, a bit hot on my finger there. Okay. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I just feel really quite drawn to that black for some reason, that black baker's twine. I mean, just now I couldn't even find it, and now look. I just am loving it. Oh, now. Do we want that bling there? Yeah, let's have a bit of bling. Because again, that then drew my eye, because I thought, oh, well, if we're going for the black, effect, we might as well have the black bling also. So we just pop that there like that. Okay. Ah, gorgeous. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, love that. So originally we only got 2 made in the end. Because I've obviously stopped and started the video so many times, I don't have the foggiest idea how long this has gone on for. And obviously I am a little bit aware after I did that huge, you know, hour and a half long video a couple of weeks ago. So I'm slightly more conscious now of running so long. So I hope you like those, and I hope that they've inspired you a little bit. I mean, really fun just working with the napkins. And you can make just such pretty, gorgeous things. So I hope that you like them, and yeah, have fun if you decide to make some, and I will see you again soon. Thanks then. Bye.